Hello and welcome to yet another episode of Hanging Out with me in my kitchen space. So in today's episode, let's do something different, and this is not really a recipe but a kitchen hack that I want to share with you. I'll show you how to basically store your ginger and your garlic for up to 6 months. Trust me, this is a hack that you need in your kitchen. Alafu sio kila siku nashinda ukinikisha vidole ginger na garlic. At times you need to trust the process and just try out this hack, and I'm sure it's going to work for you because it's been working for me. So without further ado, let's get into the ingredients. And of course you need your gingers and your garlics. You also need some salt and you need some cooking oil. So just to mention, all this ginger I got it for about 20 shillings, and also all this garlic I got it for about 30 shillings. So this in total cost me about 50 shillings, but that was in the market, huko kwa soko. Because at the normal kibanda outside in your estate, a bulb of garlic costs about 30 shillings, and a piece of this costs about 10 or 15 shillings, or even 20. So that's why I bought in bulk. So this is what I have, and I think this is going to give me a good ratio of some ginger and garlic. This is about 1:1. So as I've mentioned, you can adjust this upwards or downwards. You can add whatever you like and add less of what you do not like. So we are done with the first step, and the first step involves chopping up your garlic and ginger into smaller parts. So let me talk about the second process, and for the second process you need a blender with a grinder, and you can see that I'm using a blender with a very small grinder, but this is going to work. So you can either grind your garlic and ginger and then store it, or if at all you do not have a blender, you can decide to grate your garlic and ginger. So instead of chopping them up, you can use a grater and grate them, and then I'll show you the next process of what you need to do as you store them. I'm going to toast them like this just to mix them. Also, something else you need to know, you have to chop them according to the power of your blender. If at all you're using a very strong blender, you do not really have to chop them into small pieces. But if at all you are just using a normal blender, you have to chop them into relatively small pieces. And as you can see, this is what we have. I'll start by adding them into my grinder, just an amount that my grinder can handle. Yeah, I think that should be enough. And then I'm just going to go in with about a pinch of salt. And then instead of adding water, we add some cooking oil, and you'll add about 2 to 3 tablespoons. And also this depends with the power of your blender. And then something else, if at all you have a very weak blender, you can add more cooking oil. The beauty about adding oil is that you can never say you've added too much oil, because hii ndo tutatumia kupika. So if at all you add too much oil, ikifika time ya kupika, you're just going to reduce on the amount of oil that you're going to add before you add this. So with that piece of information, let's get started. This is what we have, and you can see that we've made our garlic and ginger paste, and it looks very creamy, of which it's a very good sign. So onto the third step, you're going to need a very clean container with an airtight top. Just to be safe, you have to dry it. You can also use a glass container, but it seems like I'm out of glass just at the moment, so I'm going to add this in here. So if at all you decided not to use a blender and you decided to grate your garlic and ginger, at this step you're just going to add them some oil, just enough oil to cover all the ginger, just like this. And then you're also going to store it in an airtight container, but you have to take an extra step. Yeah, this is what we have. And now if at all you have a fridge, you're just going to close this and store it in the fridge as it is. But if at all you do not have a fridge, this is what you have to do. You tap to remove the excess air that might be accumulating in here. Then you take your vegetable oil and then just add a thin layer of oil. Yeah, you can do about half or quarter an inch of oil, and then now you are going to store this on top of your countertop or where you put your spices, and this can last up to a month or 6 weeks as long as you make sure you do not double dip. That means ukichota mara moja na kijiko, ukitaka kuchota tena unatumia kijiko ingine. And also ukichota unahakikisha kuna mafuta juu ya garlic and ginger paste. That is if at all you do not have a fridge. If at all you have a fridge, you can store it without adding this layer of oil, but you have to make sure that it is refrigerated if at all you're not using it at the moment. So This can last me up to 6 months, and I've proven it. The last batch that I made ilisha a while ago after around 6 to 7 months almost, and I'm sure this is going to last me hadi next year kitu kama August, because unachotanga tu kidogo kidogo hivi. So we've agreed that sio lazima unukishe vidole garlic na ginger kila siku, and I hope you liked this kitchen hack. So don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe if you haven't, and I'll definitely see you in the next one. Bye.